Hi everyone, it's Aragota again here for another round of Geotastic, but we are not doing a US state streak this time. Now we are playing the traditional pinpoint mode of Geotastic, but only for the state of California. So let's get going. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I just saw a couple of videos by another YouTuber named Breakbeat Games, who she lives up in Maine, and she was just using the fact that she's from Maine to see how close she could get some of the how close she could get, and she did like an incredible job, and it was really interesting seeing seeing it really through the eyes of a local. So being from California, sort of, I figured I would give it a shot here. I've been around California a bit, so maybe I'm curious to see how it's going to go. Jackson Street. Okay. Does this museum say what city we're in? Plumas County. All right, so Plumas County is in the north. Plumas County, I believe, includes Oroville. It's up in the mountains here. So it stretches from Oroville up towards Quincy. And it butts up against Lassen County, which includes Susanville, which actually, you can only really conveniently reach this part of California from Nevada. But, we're not talking about Susanville, actually. We're more concerned with Plumas County. Okay, so the Plumas County Museum is probably going to be in Oroville. It's either going to be in Oroville or Quincy. I don't think it's going to be in Paradise. Um, so I guess we will zoom in here and see what we can find. Yeah, so Paradise was actually in the news. I don't know how many years ago it was. It's quite a while now. Because it sits on top of a ridge, and because of climate change, we've been getting these like really intense wildfires, and wildfires tend to burn faster when they move up hills. So you had a fire front that was burning towards Paradise up on the ridge, moving at something like 80 miles an hour, which is insane. And it flattened the city. I think, off the top of my head, I think Paradise, about 80,000 people or something used to live in Paradise. So like, yeah, maybe it's not here. Maybe this is Paradise. Chico. Oh, I guess it could be in Chico. That's right. So let's see here. I have to assume that it would just pop up, right? Like it would pop up as one of the major. You know what? Maybe we just need to keep moving around. Let's keep moving around. So we know that we're in Plumas County, which probably means Chico or Oroville or possibly Quincy. And I think the capital of Plumas County is, say what sound? I'm pretty sure the capital of Plumas County is Chico. So I guess it would make sense for it most to be there. We'll just, we'll keep looking. That's the most important thing. Okay. Gosh, it's probably like 100 degrees in this picture. Main Street and Buchanan Street. Okay, is there a Main Street in Chico? I've never been myself. Um, Main Street. I don't think there is. It looks like the Main Street here. Yeah, I'm gonna jump back down to Oroville. Is there a Main Street in Oroville? Main Street in Buchanan. Wyandotte, Lincoln, Huntoon, Montgomery, Oro Quincy Highway, Nelson. Man, this is tough. Oh my God, my mistake. Oroville is in Butte County. Oh, shows what I know. I'm a little hazy on all this, I guess. Well, there's the first problem. Plumas County. Where? I guess I'll jump up to Quincy. I'm full of crap. Let's see here. Okay, we have a main street here. Okay. Hmm. Quincy Junction. But is there a Buchanan Street intersection? Where are you? Meadow Way, Bellamy Lane. This is hard, and it's taken a long time. I'm considering just throwing something down and guessing. But I don't think it's in Quincy because we don't have a Buchanan Street. We do not. Main Street continues here. I'm going to give myself a limit of 7 minutes. So if we cannot find it in 7 minutes, I'm just going to throw a point down. Because we do indeed have, 5 rounds to go. And I don't want this video to get too crazy. I'm not sure where else it could be. Okay, we're just going to say Quincy. Okay, well, very interesting. This is my first time playing a round like this, so bear with me. Um, okay, I mean, this once again feels kind of like Northern California, but where exactly? Where exactly in Northern California does it feel like? Do we have names here that I can use? No. Okay. There's a whole bunch of suburbs in the Sacramento area that came into being really really fast, and it's really interesting because so like our on our state seal we have the goddess Minerva, who or Athena, who was born out of the forehead of Zeus, fully formed. And the reason why Minerva is on our state seal is because the state of California was, most of the United States when they became states were out east, and California gained enough population to apply for statehood in a single year due to the California Gold Rush, drawing so many people over to the West Coast after the U.S. had seized the territory from Mexico in the Mexican American War. Um, oh, big road. Okay. 916. Oh my God, yeah. So I was right. This is like suburban Sac. Um, all right. So let's see. We're in the foothills somewhere. But yeah. So basically, a lot of the suburbs in suburban Sacramento, like Lincoln, Rockland, Granite Bay, Roseville, a lot of them came into being very, very fast. Like in the 2010s, or like in maybe 2005 and later, you had a huge housing construction boom, and all of these people moved up from the San Francisco Bay Area, and they basically they basically sold their tiny little old houses, which were on sale for like insane amounts of money, which they put up for insane amounts of money, and then they would buy these huge houses in the, oh, Fremont? Bobcat or Fremont? 916, but Fremont? Huh. I don't think there's a Fremont. The only Fremont I can think of in California is down here. Yeah, anyway. So basically, you had this huge boom where these cities, it's like they had like populations of 200 people, little farming communities or something back in the day. And then basically, all of a sudden, they had 10,000 people, 15,000 people. Uh, Rockland, I think, now has 60,000 people. Um, as you had like this huge boom of people who like basically moved into these wide, pretty neighborhoods that, you know, essential suburbia, where you feel like everything is just, you can still see the shine on it all. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. So Sacramento itself actually looks a lot like it looks a lot like a comet. So you have downtown Sacramento here, and up towards I-80, you have the primary tail of the comet just shooting up towards Auburn of all of this recent development. And then you have a secondary tail shooting down US 50 towards South Lake Tahoe. I think Sacramento, the metro now has around 2 million people. Lots of folks who, moved in only relatively recently. Uh, Technology drive. Goodness gracious. Yeah, this stuff is just taking me forever. I I don't I mean it says Fremont, so I'm gonna give myself like a cutoff at 5 minutes. Um yeah, this is no joke. I don't I'm having trouble being precise about it in a reasonable amount of time. But yeah, so I guess it's 916, but maybe 916 was the area code uh of like the real estate agent or like someone. So maybe it actually is in the Bay Area down here. And we were looking for the Fremont Auto Mall. I really don't think that there's another Fremont here, and we're right into the mountains. So I'm thinking that it has to be sort of in this region. Yeah, that's it. I gave myself 5 minutes. I'm gonna cut off at 5 minutes. So I guess I'll just drop this off right here. Okay. There's a Walmart down there. Makes sense. Okay, well, continue. So this looks like it is up in the mountains, Canyon Boulevard. I feel in Central California to the Sierra Nevadas. Uh, that's where you have these kinds of pine trees, potentially into the Visalia area, or at least further to the east from it. So let's see what we can find popping around. Most likely, there's going to be lots of tourist traffic into a town like this, and you're going to have like these microbreweries and stuff popping up. Mammoth. Okay, so this might be Mammoth. Finally, something quick, huh? So Mammoth is up this area called Owens Valley in this region. I've also never been here, but I have heard that it is very lovely. As you can see, a very popular skiing area. So Mammoth Lakes. Let's see if we can get the names of these intersections here. Minarets, Main Street, and Lake Mary. Okay, so that's good. Lake Mary. Okay. Where does it transition to Main Street? Probably at this intersection at the 203. Yeah, so right here, this is where we are. Okay, so if we go back to the start, okay, so we are going to be basically right here, I think. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. Oh, finally, something that's really, really close. 34 meters. Great. All right. Will we get lucky again? Probably not. That was a very distinctive location that we were in before. Thanks to this person for blurring their house out, I can't read the road signs, but that's okay because I don't think it'd be useful. This looks like Southern California. You have the bearded palms. You have the marine layer in the mornings. Um, you have, Are those cherry blossoms? That's interesting. Um, in the city of Long Beach, they have what are called, at least I believe they call them jacaranda trees. And in the spring, you get these like gorgeous like purple thingamabobs, like they're flowers, just like sprouting all over the place, and then they fall down and make a big mess. But even the mess is pretty. So I was always particularly partial to that. Okay, I'm not gonna let that mislead me too much. Montecito is a city in the Santa Barbara area in Southern California. Um, and it actually was also in the news in 2018 because there was something called the Thomas Fire, which burned a huge everything. It feels like whenever I talk about California in detail, there's like, oh, climate change is going to ruin us all. So pardon that. But Montecito was in the news um, in 2018 because the burn scar of that fire was in the mountains above the city. And what ended up happening was goodness. What ended up happening was a torrential rain happened, and it caused a huge mudslide that carved out huge sections of the city. And famously, Oprah's house was destroyed or something like that, or she like made a viral video or something showing like the mud flow. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember seeing that mud flow. Yeah, there are lots of famous people who have like their huge mansions in the area. Some of them had like private firefighter corps that were like um, hired by their hired by their insurance companies to protect their properties in particular. So that was also in the news, which it's California, so you you have these like contrasts of like extraordinary ridiculous wealth and and built onto. I feel like a good metaphor for California is that in Southern California you have what do you call it, these you have these beautiful multi-million dollar houses in like Laguna Beach or wherever that are built onto the side of a cliff. And every day you can go down to the beach and see the exposed piping on the edges. So you just have people going to this beautiful place that they're accorded the privilege to experience on account of their wealth. God, is gas expensive here. And then Middlefield Road. Okay. Ah, something's kicking in. Okay. Yeah, and there's a kind of precarity that's sort of built into it. The phenomenon. There's a professor um, of geography who described it as what what is the price Californians will pay for the home with the view? Because 408. Oh, it's in Campbell. My bad. That's not Southern California. I guess that explains the cherry tree. Campbell is up here, and I want to give myself um, yeah, Campbell's down here. So and I have actually cut through it. I've driven on this freeway 17. Um, yeah, it's like, so you have lots of, you have this general trend in California, which is reversed from most places in the world, where really wealthy people will move into places where they incur a greater degree of, of natural risk as a function of, instead of moving to places where, like usually only people who are of less means are able to afford to live in places where there's like a high flood risk or a high fire risk. But the opposite is true in major Californian cities. In major Californian cities, what you have instead is maybe it's not Campbell, because I mean, like, look at this elevation stuff. Well, let's look for Middlefield anyway. Um, yeah, it's curious. I feel like to me at least, California is. I have a complex relationship with my identity as a Californian because I feel like it's a place of contradictions, and it's funny kind of conveying that to people who are from California because their first impulse will usually they'll just assume that I'm like ignorant. They're like, oh, you haven't seen a part of California that that doesn't make you wonder. And that would be true. I haven't. I think I'm just, we're at 5 minutes. I'm gonna call it a Campbell. So another thing about California is it's very integrated, and I had no way of at least I was kind of in the right ballpark. I'm in the right. That might not even be the right county, but like, and I was in the right area. Okay, so the next one, I did not know that I could mistake such an area for Southern California. I've lived in both Northern and Southern California. These bearded palms are here again. I won't let myself make that same mistake, but my feeling here is once again Southern California. There's something about this that vibes like the older neighborhoods in the Los Angeles area. So, is there anything on that bin we can see? No, probably not. Well, definitely not. But it says here there's a school crossing, so maybe we'll see. Yep, there's the school. That's very Southern California. You have like the schools aren't, they like what they do is they'll build out these sort of portables because it's too expensive to expand and maintain the original buildings that the school is built with. So let's see the name of it. Marks. No, that doesn't help. Um, I don't quite know Southern California to the resolution of being able to pick out individual elementary schools by name. But I think Valeria Street. Okay. Do I know the name of the cross street? Center Avenue. I don't. Okay. Um, yeah, another tough thing about these suburbs is that it's a little tough to find your way to a main road. You have the cypress trees, so I don't feel like I've ever seen cypress trees in the Bay Area. So Los Palos, Office of Student Services. So yeah, this leads me to believe that this is indeed Southern California, but I don't know. I've never heard of a city called Dos Palos before, and that's what this appears to be here. Welcome to Dos Palos, cotton community. So this must be a small town. I don't think this is in the LA area. Let's see if we can get an area code. 209. I think 209 is in the Modesto area, which is Central California, which makes sense. I feel like I haven't I haven't heard of a lot of the cities in this region. Like I only recently learned of, cities like Ceres. Although I have driven along 99 and I have like passed it. So let's see if we can see a Dos Palos in this area. We might not. It might. My hunch might be incorrect. Um, which is interesting. Merced. Okay, it might be in Merced County. Um, oof. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, this one is this one is not so easy either. Okay, well, maybe we can find if it's a small town, maybe we can find a freeway. Um, and we'll just see how it goes from there. So we're on Center Avenue still. It looks like Center Avenue is still the main street. So if we keep popping out, we might still be in luck. We might still be able to find look at this what appears to that's probably the California aqua well, I don't know that. It looks like the California aqueduct. So yeah, Dos Palos might indeed be in Southern California because it goes down from Owens Valley, the California aqueduct, and I don't know. It cuts through in like this region, so it could be here. Is there like a small farm town called Dos Palos here? Exeter, Dinuba, Orosi, Hanford. I don't. It might be small enough that the name won't pop up unless we're close, in which case we might not be able to make it in time. Well, we'll do our best. So I don't go on forever. Since we got that Mammoth one so fast, I'm probably going to I'm probably going to take a little bit more time on this one so that it isn't cut off so early. But yeah, so I mean that's something that I think is very cool about California, uh, and I think it's one reason why a lot of Californians it's hard for them to. I feel like it's hard for a lot of Californians to to understand. I think how how things feel outside of California, and a part of that is because well, one, if you're in the cities, everything is there for you. So it's really, if you want to go skiing in LA one day, you can, and then the next day you can go to the beach. I mean, so it's like you can have any kind of food you want in LA. Um, so it's, there's that, right? Where like I feel like people are more likely to look beyond where they're from if they feel that where they're from is lacking cotton. Okay, so we're out of the city and there was no sign. So, so we'll see here. But on the other hand, there's such a diversity of terrains in California. As you can see, we were up in the mountains. Um, we're in all these various suburbs and these different parts of San Francisco, or these little towns that I think Quincy. I might be wrong, but Quincy might be one of the towns that dates back uh, to the days of the gold rush. So there's this really palpable kind of rustic sense to a lot of the towns up there that are just nestled in these little creeks and valleys. Um, like California, when you're there, it feels like the world. And I can't blame people for allowing that to sort of shape their perspective for, like, what America looks like or how it feels like. Um, because, like, I mean, there's no better way to just have your mind boggled by, like, how how big everything can really be. I think I'm just going to. It's so funny. I feel like I'm losing patience. We still have a little bit of time, so I guess we'll keep plodding along. Um, let's see here. Okay. The 209 is the biggest, most clear indicator to me that, we're in the Central Valley. The cotton is a little strange. I've never seen a place in California that grows cotton. Um, the only place that I remember that I can think of in the Southwest that I've seen grow cotton is in Arizona. So there's a city in Arizona called Goodyear, which is a suburb of Phoenix, the capital city. And it's called Goodyear because the city of Goodyear built a tire factory there and encouraged the cultivation of cotton for use in their tires. I think they built a tire factory. I don't know. The point is, there's a lot of cotton there for use in tires because there was a crop failure or something in the South. And it was during one of the world wars when Egypt, which is where most of the other cotton would have come from, had been had become a war zone. So it was just not viable. So in order to bolster their reserves of cotton to keep prices on the tires down, Goodyear actually cultivated a whole bunch of they facilitated the cultivation of a whole bunch of cotton in that area. Yeah, I don't know a lot of the specific details. Um, yeah, and yeah, so it's like I didn't know that cotton was like a California thing too, and maybe it could only be a Dos Palos thing. So I guess I'm just inclined to drop myself off somewhere in the Stanislaus County area, which is near Modesto, and I guess we'll just see how wrong I am. Surely there is a surely there's a Dos Palos in this area. I was quite wrong. Oh, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so Mendota, we actually, um, in our other GeoGuessr round, we actually got the freeway exit with a rest stop that, would have taken you to Mendota in one direction, and then to Piscines in the other direction. So it's good for me to know. Yeah, close to Los Banos. So off this exit of Los Banos and Santanella, there's a decent pea soup place here, by the way, for any of you who happen to be driving down Interstate 5. It looks like a Danish windmill. But it's good to know that close to the Santanella area, you have this exit that takes you, I guess, to the middle of cotton country. So that's interesting. I feel like I've learned a lot about my state even just in a short 30 minutes. So thank you for joining. That was not so easy, but for the most part, we made it work. So cool. Everyone take care, and till next time.